And we back. Onyx Honesty. Solomon Zon'kufu. What up, bro? What the deal?
One love, what's poppin'?
Oh man, you know I gotta hit you. I gotta hit you with that good shit today, man. So they just dropped a list of names that you cannot name your child in the United States of America. Jumping off the list, Santa Claus. You cannot name your child Santa Claus. It's illegal.
Damn.
You cannot name your child at. The A with the circle, at. You cannot name your child at. It is illegal to name your child the at symbol. You cannot name your child the third, like 3, like the symbol, you know, junior, senior, the third. You cannot name your child the third. You cannot name your child king, queen. You cannot name your child Jesus Christ. You cannot name your child majesty. You cannot name your child Messiah. You cannot name your child Adolf Hitler. And you cannot name, right. And you cannot name your child 1069. You cannot. Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Now, wait a minute. Now,
Real shit.
Is this some internet bullshit?
No,
or is this law?
This is law. Actually, it used to be different. Like it's always been king and queen and Messiah. You've never been. This is just coming out now, but that's always been there. But it didn't used to be 1069. If I'm not mistaken, it used to be like 1923 or something. You couldn't name your child, and now it's 1069. And they just added Adolf Hitler. They just added the at symbol, but you can never name your child king, queen, majesty, Messiah, Santa Claus. That's always been there.
Somehow or another, that breaks the computer algorithm somehow. That's the only reason why it could be like they don't want it on the list. That's because they're looking at the computer age. They're not thinking physical documentation in papers. And that's why that ad comes up. But Santa Claus? And I didn't even know about you couldn't name. I didn't know I couldn't name my. T.I.'s son's name is King. What are we talking about?
I know one of T.I.'s son's name is Messiah as well.
So how is it illegal? What's illegal about it?
All right, bro. Telling you, man. It's the international rules on
What's my penalty for such illegal activity?
I'm wondering the same thing, but I'll do you one better. A couple years back, I used to mess with a chick who in law enforcement. So it was a chick who was pregnant in court, and she was about to get sentenced. So she had her baby and in jail, and they was asking her what she want to name the baby. She told the judge, I want to name him Messiah. The judge said, no, pick something else. This was a few years back. This is from a person in court telling me this story.
I get it, but that don't mean nothing. I mean, shit. Them human judges, when I say human judge, I mean like the Sahu nigga. Them judges do shit all the time. In that courtroom, we talked about that courtroom, but anyway, that don't matter. I need to know the real consequence. I need to know what article, what law, and how that doesn't, how is that ineffective from freedom of speech, freedom of religion? How does that not cross that constitution line, even though you got a weak ass constitution anyway? And I'm just keeping it real.
Right. I mean, I think that it's just another means of control, all the way down to what you name your baby. You can't name your baby. It's a lot of people named Jesus, but you can't name your baby Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I need to know what the penalty is.
That's some niggas got to go Google or try it for yourself. Just like a nigga go and sell some drugs and say, fuck the law. Name your kid Queen and see what happens. Shit.
I ain't for one, no, I ain't having no more kids. Anyway, two because two is enough. You heard me. And two, no, I don't play with them people because they ain't never played with me. So you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't play with them them people because they ain't never played with me. They ain't played with none of my ancestors. None of them. Everyone they looked at, they said bow down or die. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Well,
that's crazy, man. Like I'm telling you now, you know. Whoa. I mean, I don't expect the masses to wake up. Any of y'all out there who think that's gonna happen, it's not, bro. It's things called. We don't need them to wake up. We just need enough people to wake up that they de-individualize into what we trying to accomplish and achieve.
Or we at least need some of the gate.
But it's reality.
We need some of the gatekeepers to wake up too, man. People to stop worrying about what the oppressors want so bad, chasing money or women or power or whatever they chasing. It's time to come home, offer some unification and some compatibility, man. It's time to come home.
That's that biggest start right there. But it's, yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
But, you know, any final thoughts on that? You can't name your child Santa Claus, Jesus Christ, 1069. Any final thoughts?
Now, see, that's something I would do that. If I had another child, Santa Claus is the first name. It's going to be somewhere in there. It's going to be somewhere because I want to know why not. I know that fucks if these names mess up the computer algorithm for their database. They're keywords that they can't. Somehow or another, they ain't figured that part out yet. That's the only reason why it could be illegal. You know, it's more than just a power move. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just an act of control. They ain't got to do that. They set the gas prices. They don't got to do shit like that.
Right. All right. Well, I want to get into what we was talking about last time. And I want to finish that conversation if we could tap into it. And I want to give you the floor because we had to end it rather abruptly and you didn't get off what you had to say. So I just want to reiterate. We were talking about I was using the weather as an example. It was a time back in the day where the weather pretty much controlled everything, the way we handled things. We would pray for rain. We would pray for snow or the lack of snow or whatever the case may be. And people would say, you know, don't be blasphemous. Don't curse the rain gods. Don't curse, you know, don't be out of pocket with that. And now in 2025, we can control the weather. It's 5 or 6 different countries that can literally control the weather. So now we know it's not blasphemous. So from an intellectual standpoint, a technological standpoint, a scientific standpoint, we got to start getting in front of some stuff. And the question was posed that, you know, worry about the things that worry about you. Concern yourself with the things that are concerned about you. And I equated that to a preacher saying, don't be blasphemous. Yeah. And now I want to give you the floor and I want to say, I'm not trying to be blasphemous when I say we need to get in front of this spirit world. We need to try to figure out something because there ain't nothing no machine guns going to get us out of. Ain't no rocket launchers getting us out of this. We need another way to tap in. I would like to give you the floor now and ask you to offer explanation into how we can get in front of this thing spiritually.
All right. Let's ruffle some feathers.
Let's do it.
My main point and focus when I was 22, 23, and I was still bringing to this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, was that I wanted a device, a mechanism, a technique, a something to change the reality and the circumstances at hand, because I was looking at it through the, you know, African descent, lineage, oppressed type of thought process, right? Because how the world shows me what it is, right? And also personal experiences. So, and I knew that, you know, talking to some of the elders and the ones who's been in the military, that we don't have enough, like, power to even think we can compete on that level. We don't even have the numbers, population-wise. You know, numbers can shrink real fast when it comes to who's going to take the battle or not, based on the other side's technological advance. So the closest resolution that I got in this story, and now because you know how they paint pictures and you know certain so-called educated people get a hold of the story as far as like, you know, I'm able to tell this story like author type shit. I'm writing books type shit, you know, so they get to paint the picture of history for us. And they kind of dumb this part down. But long story short, is the Haitian Revolution where the Hogans and the people practicing voodoo was turning 30 million degrees Celsius. Well, so basically what you're saying, because of the petrolaw. The petrolaw was the embodiment of the cosmic rage that was inflicted on us during the slavery process, right? So you can evoke it and invoke it. It had a lot of power, and it had a victory under its belt already. But then time proceeds, and you see, yeah, you know, they might have consolidated the land to a degree, but then based on the mentality, they turned on themselves, which cut the power off even more, which cut the faucet off to this power even more. And that's why you got now a whole bunch of ceremonial bullshit, and they selling it to tourists. I said a lot right there. Let me answer the question. And I'm sorry, but I just wanted to take people through a run through of where I stood on it, on my perspective, and how I was able to, as I grew in wisdom and understanding, I was able to better release my illusions and see reality for what it is and understand my part to play in the experience, and how to be omniscient is to know the absolute truth. And we only attribute that to the Most High, so I don't qualify to drive that car. So I don't expect to know it all. I expect to know what's sufficient for me in a day. Not to say that I'm supposed to be some dumb, ignorant motherfucker running around here hoping and guessing and waiting. Nah, I'm supposed to be trying to attune myself with the Most High as by any means motherfucking necessary, because I'm finding myself that there is no other help that I can call on. And I better understood this based on understanding the cosmic principles, which is the master key that unlocks and unfolds all the potential, all the ability that one can have. It gives you the definitions on how to read the writing on the wall, because it don't matter whether you got one sun, two suns, 3 moons, 5 moons. These concepts and these principles are going to remain the same. Whether you got 6 fingers and 8 toes, 2 heads and 3 dicks, it don't matter.
Pause.
These concepts will always remain the same. And that's the master key. But see, the issue becomes, as I try to tell people and explain to people, you are in your own way. So
okay. I want you to step into the camera. Step in, move to your left. Move to your left. There you go. There you go. I got center yourself for the frame. The center of the frame. That's where we want to keep you.
Yeah, so your head can be in the way. I feel you, but I'm gonna continue. So I have to be able to deny myself and carry the cross, as they would say.
Well, when you're talking about the spirit itself, it seemed like it can be motivational. Like if you get the spirit behind, let's say you get the spirit of ingenuity behind you, you'll have like a group of baby boomers. You'll have a whole generation of people who continue to engineer and tinker and build. But let's say you get a spirit of laziness behind you. You'll have a whole generation of bums. You know what I'm saying? So the point that I'm trying to make is we got to get the spirit of victory, of unification, of constructing, building, and we also got to get behind the spirit of selflessness. It's so much, let's do it my way. Let's worry about me going on. We got to get back to helping each other, like making sure everybody got a certain standard of living. Then we can worry about building bigger and better. But first, let's have no homelessness. Let's have no hunger. Let's have, no health care. I mean, not no health care, but everyone gets health care.
No health care bill.
No health bill. Let's get some things out of the way first as a team.
To be restored, yeah. All right, man, yeah. That's basically my spiel on it. That's my soliloquy on it because I don't see no other way for a general assembly to move accordingly. I mean, the ancestors left it clear and plain, know thyself. I wasn't left a blueprint or a model on how to rebuild a civilization. I was left a blueprint and a model on how to rebuild the temple, the civilization, which is self. And so when you get a civilization ran by, as Rahul Nephi would refer to as Sahuians, or the Sahu man, or the lower man, what the Bible will refer to as beasts, like Nebuchadnezzar changed into, what the Yoruba would testify and say is bad character. It's the opposite of Iwa Pele, which is good character.
Right.
And these things is necessary to even have discipline. You gotta have, to be a disciple, you gotta have some type of discipline.
I think that
I don't encourage people to leave their given religion. I encourage people to enhance it. But don't, at the same time, don't mistake your purpose with mine. You feel me?
I do. I think that first and foremost, you got to have moral fiber. You got to stand on business when it comes to ethics. And once you got that that moral stance on things, then you can proceed with a good spirit. You know what I mean? But it's when you don't have the morals, when you don't have the ethics, when you do anything for money or anything for sex or anything for power, when you start to just say, oh, whatever, and rape, pillage, and plunder, and you so damaged on the inside, hurt people. So it comes with a certain amount of healing. It comes with a certain amount of morals. It comes with a certain amount of ethics. It comes with a certain amount of civilized behavior. Like you were saying, the saying goes, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And that does ring true. But some things we need to fall for. We so quick to rebel against stuff. It'll almost make you feel like y'all want to go the wrong direction. The bottom line is we're supposed to be ascending, not descending. And I don't mean we're not allowed to dig. We can dig as deep as we want. But we're supposed to be going to another level, and we're supposed to be working towards that all the time. And when you add spirituality to that conversation, you almost always gonna come back with religion.
I don't care. Well, you should go back with religion because religion is relegated to bind oneself to its creative structure, to its creative instinct. It's nothing wrong with religion. It's when religion is the hand puppet of a political ideology. And on that note, bro, I'm a biggity bounce, and it's one love.
One love, bro.